weird. Okay, I wanted to, for those of you that were in the meeting, I wanted to leave you guys in there so you could talk about what you were talking about, and then it just threw everybody off. So I apologize for that. Sorry about that. And then I couldn't get on here. It wasn't letting me on. I had to change my video. But anyway, hi everybody. How are you? Went to my aunt's 100th birthday party today. It was very nice. Still getting pictures up, or otherwise I'd show you some. But my cousin and her daughter-in-law were taking all the pictures, and I have some in my phone. I have to get them up. But anyway, it was a nice day, really nice. I didn't know all of my cousins. Now, I shouldn't say all of my cousins, but cousins that I haven't seen in years were flying in from California and Texas and Arizona. So it was great. It was a big surprise. I didn't realize that it was going to be as big a party as it was. So it was really nice. And we were there. We didn't get home till, I don't know, late in the evening. So then, what else did we do? So worn out. It took a little. I didn't nap or anything, but I just rested my head because it was a whirlwind of a day. But now I'm here. Now tomorrow I have a doctor's appointment, so got to remember that. But that's in the afternoon. So what else is going on? We're going to talk about Lori Vallow, because I realized my last video I told you I was going to tell you how she got thrown out of court by the judge, and then we skipped that. So I don't want to clickbait anybody. So I'm going to talk about that. Then I'm also going to tell you about some updates on the riots and protests in LA. And then about a 21-year-old from West Virginia who had a girlfriend, late-stage pregnancy, and he beat her nearly to death. And the baby and her were found barely alive. I don't know. They're in critical condition, both of them. And they're trying to save both the mother and the baby. So keep them in your prayers. Terrible situation there. And so that's what I'm going to tell you about tonight. And then, yeah, I don't know. What else is going on? Tomorrow the trials are back on. And Karen Reed. Jimmy is going to be talking about Karen Reed, but he wants me to make sure that I get that out there, that he's doing it. So we'll have to schedule a time to do that with him. And what else? I was going to do a crafts because I wanted to do some I was going to do some crafting tonight, but then I was just too tired. I've got my coffee here, so we'll see. But let me tell you about this Lori Vallow getting thrown out of court. She was telling the judge that she thought she had been very courteous or whatever to him, but no, the judge threw her out. And that was day 2 of the trial. Yeah. She was removed from the court. We're arguing with the judge. So let's see what's all of that about. I don't know how many of you are following Lori Vallow. A lot of people feel like, what does it even matter? She's already been convicted. 3 murders, 4 murder. You know, how many? Usually at this point, being that this was an attempted murder, like, they kind of just drop it, right? Or just, but no, they're going full on with this. So she's on trial for the conspiracy to murder her niece's ex-husband, Brendan Boudreaux. And the judge had her escorted out of court because she argued with him, and he was frankly sick of it. On Friday, the second day of the trial, Lori went back and forth with Judge Justin Versky over the inclusion of character evidence before a break. And East Idaho News shared the footage that Lori, who's acting as her own attorney in this case, was told by the judge if she were to introduce how you have great character, it will lead to a discussion on what evidence can be brought in to rebut that character evidence, including discussion of her previous conviction. So what he's saying is, like, these people don't know that she's been convicted of murdering her children, right? So these jurors don't know that. So what he's saying is, look, if you want to talk about what great character you have, well then, hey, the prosecution can rebut that by saying, great character, you've been convicted of killing your children. So yeah, that's what he's telling her. And he said that evidence could include you being convicted of 4 murders. So talk to your advisory counsel during the break. She interrupted saying, you don't need to yell at me. And then he said, I'm not yelling at you. She said, yeah, you are. And you don't need to talk to me that way. And then he ordered her out of the courtroom. She claimed she had been very courteous to the judge, and he's like, no, you've been nothing near courteous to me during the course of these proceedings. He said, talk to your advisory counsel about the rest of your cross, and we're going to resume in 15 minutes. When she came back, she apologized, and he warned her that continued interruptions could impact her ability to represent herself. So, yeah, that was all in there. Now, so that was the big thing. So now at least we got that out. Now I've covered that because I realized that you didn't. So let me talk about the 21-year-old in West Virginia, because there really has to be problem solving taught to these kids, because if you're doing that to get rid of a pregnancy or because you're not ready for a pregnancy, well, you should have thought of that a long time ago. And you know, if it's, I don't know what it is making these kids, it's just crazy. Okay, so I want to get his graphic up here. Hang on, so you know who we're talking about. Here he is. In a hazmat suit. Okay. They're also contrite right there. It's like, yeah. Oh gosh, hold on a minute. Get over there. So his name is Logan Willis. He's 21. He comes from Oak Hill, West Virginia. He was arraigned Friday evening in the Jackson County Magistrate Court, and that's from Sheriff Ross Mellinger. So what happened there, he was arrested after investigators say he severely beat his pregnant girlfriend in rural Jackson County, West Virginia, left her for what he thought was dead, left her and the baby that she's carrying. He thought he killed her and left her for dead. As a matter of fact, when he called 911, that was one of the first things he said was, and I quote, "You know, I just had an altercation. I beat this girl, and I think I killed her." He's charged with attempted murder, malicious assault, and strangulation. She was taken to the hospital, and according to the sheriff, he told investigators that she stopped breathing, and he dragged her to a wooded area near Kenna. Then he drove to a rural gas station, called 911, and told them that he thinks he just killed his girlfriend. The criminal complaint was observed. He was observed to have numerous serious injuries. I'm so sorry. The victim was observed to have numerous serious injuries consistent with a life-altering beating. Now you have to wonder, if he thought she was dead and he strangled her and whatever, is she going to end up that, you know what I'm talking about, right? The number of times that she was struck, clearly it wasn't an accident. It's repetitive, over and over, kicked, beaten, strangled. all of it above and beyond simply losing your temper. And it says the woman's condition was unavailable Friday night. So I want to look on, it doesn't sound like, it's unfortunately, keep them in your purse, but it sounds so over the top. And if he thought she had stopped breathing, it just doesn't sound good at all for their survival, talking about lack of oxygen and everything. Let me see if I can. See anything about an update on here. Here's his mugshot. Let's see what we've got here. Come on, get over there. But where do you think like this is going to end well? This is going to stop your problems. No one's going to find you. Then you go there and you confess. See, this is what I don't understand, okay? Let's just think about it. This kid, it's not that he tried to hide it. He thought he killed her and the baby, and then he immediately went to a gas station and called 911. So if he's willing to deal with a murder, why can't you suck it up and deal with a baby somehow? Like, do you know what I mean? He doesn't even have to have custody of that baby. If he didn't want that baby, whatever, she can raise it. He'd have to pay child support. But is it better that he's dealing with a murder, like attempted murder now? It's just, I don't even understand the reasoning. I could see if he went on the run and tried to hide this and thought he's going to get away with this, but this is just crazy. It makes zero sense, and you have to wonder where their head is, and why aren't they taught any type of problem-solving skills, okay, at all? So let me see what it's saying here on these. Has anyone heard anything about the mother? They want to know. Let's see, the female. Someone's saying she was really. I can't believe that, but let me see. If she was, someone's saying she was released, but I don't know if that person is credible. They're just in the comments there. Let's see here. Because I heard she was in critical condition. The woman is in very critical condition, investigators say. So, let me see here. They were able to locate the woman in a wooded area only to discover she was still alive. Once the deputies found the location, they were able to follow the blood trail to the body. That's when they noticed the woman was in late stages of pregnancy. The sheriff said the man said he beat the woman in his car and then he dragged her body into the woods.